And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Analog Toys live stream. It is super early here. I didn't think it would be a big deal getting up as early as this because I'm normally an early riser anyway. But lo and behold, the first time I go to do this, I couldn't get to sleep last night. So Daniel Dorian says the intro's badass. Thank you very much. Who else we got here? Scuba Pete, Chris Mewa, all the usual suspects. I think I saw Jody in the chat earlier, Keith, Boba Hicks. How are we all doing today? Gaz, that 80s kid. All right, we're here today to talk about specifically the Galoob 18 toy line, but we can also talk about the TV show if we like. I did mention in the panel talk I did the other day with Brendan Haley, we talked a little bit about the 18. Excuse me. Michael Schaefer says, cool table. Thank you very much. Ivor Johnson says, I love it when a plan comes together. So do I. And wrong one. And Jody, thank you very much for the kind super chat. He says, for your sacrifice for getting up so dang early. Well, I'm normally up around 4 a.m. anyway. So getting up at 3:15 to get ready for a live stream is not a big stretch, but that's normally when I go to bed at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I couldn't get to sleep last night. Yeah, Michael Schaefer saying a great panel talk with Brendan. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the 18 TV show in that panel talk episode. And I have a specific childhood memory about the 18 TV show where it was one of those nights where I'd been put to bed. I don't remember how old I was, 6 or 7. I'd been put to bed and I was either not feeling well or I couldn't sleep or something like that. And I kept getting up and walking downstairs and disturbing my parents. I couldn't sleep. And eventually my mum had said, oh, hey, look, just hang down here with us for a while. And they were watching the A-Team. And I remember laying on the couch with my head on my mum's lap, watching the A-Team, which previously they had not wanted me to watch because of the violence. And I fell in love with the TV show, became obsessed, wanted to watch it all the time. And it's funny now in hindsight, when you look back, that my parents thought that the A-Team was potentially too violent, because it's just you look back at it now, it's a modern day, it's a live action cartoon of modern day. It is damn early here. Ed's Retro Geek Out, thanks for joining us, Anne. He says, wrong one, sorry. Well, this chat's moving quick today. Ed's Retro Geek Out says, love it when a plan comes together. For anyone else who watches Ed's Retro Geek Out, I'm hoping to get him on a panel talk one day. We've got Timothy Ward in the chat. Gildog999 says, great collection. Have you got the weird gyrocopter for Murdoch? No, I don't, but funny you should say that. I do have a picture of it here ready. So this is the gyrocopter from the, what are they, 5-6-inch figures. There was 2 vehicles made for this scale, the other one being a trike with a trailer that had like a disc launcher on it. I had the trike and the trailer when I was a kid, but I didn't have the actual gyrocopter itself. Unusual toy for sure. Antonio says, yep, the violence was very cartoon-like. They must have fired off 1,000 rounds and only shot dirt. Exactly. And Ivor Johnson says the best 80s intro was the A-Team. Yeah, I really wanted to be able to play that intro here, but I've tried to use it in an A-Team video I did a number of years ago, and we'll just get ourselves demonetized and have a copyright strike against us. Hillbilly Ben. Hi there from Plymouth, UK. My wife and I are watching you now while we have our dinner. Please say hi. I spent a fantastic night drinking with Dirk Benedict when he did a play in Cornwall, England. That's awesome. Hello to you and your wife. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone likes this new time slot. I'm not going to be able, due to work commitments, I'm not able to do this time slot every week, but I am able to do it twice a month. And that's not every other week. That's 2 weeks in a row, and then 2 weeks we'll try and get a different time slot. So next week there should be another Pallet Talk. There should be another live stream at the exact same time. And we've got Retro Blasting here in the chat. It says, yes, I didn't miss it. I didn't think you would, Michael. It's a great time slot, full of win. Yes, I really think this time slot is going to be good for a lot of people, particularly you, Jody. Yeah, the Friday night live streams I used to kind of kick off where Jody was. It would be about 1 o'clock in the morning, and even in the UK, 11 p.m. midnight. It's far too late. So I like this new time slot, and Sunday afternoons are a good day for people. Why in the hell have I got? I don't know what this is doing on the table. There you go. Let me just show you while I'm here. The close-up camera. So there we've got the Motu Origins Man-at-Arms. I don't know why he's on the table. I think I was mucking around with him yesterday and I just set him on the table. There you go. But yeah, we've got the close-up camera now and the Lazy Susan with the Galoob 18 van going around. Jody said, is Gracie pulling a Tim Whitten and sneaking in toys onto the table? No, I was playing around with this guy yesterday, and for some reason I thought his weapon looked somewhat like a microphone, and obviously with his mustache he looks a little bit like Burt Reynolds, and I got this bizarre idea to make a video of Man-at-Arms doing karaoke in Burt Reynolds' voice. I get funny ideas sometimes. Daniel Dorian says the van is so underrated. I think you're talking about the toy van in particular. Yes, it is underrated. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So one of the really weird things with the Galoob 18 toy line is the different scales that were available. So, and I had a lot of this stuff when I was a child. So you've got the 3 3/4 inch figures. Obviously, we've got the tactical van there. Then you had these guys, which are 5, 6 inches tall. And then, although it's not A-Team, it was released by Galoob. We also had the large size Mr. T with the reflection off there. I think there was a talking version of this as well. So you have this, specifically when you're talking about BA Baracus, you've got the 3 3/4 inch version, the 6 inch version, and then a large 12 inch version. I still to this day can't wrap my head around why Galoob opted to have all these different scales for their 18 toys. It really didn't make sense. Ivor Johnson says, do the side doors open on the van? No, none of the doors open. The interesting thing with this van, let me just switch over to the close-up camera. Or as oops, pressed the wrong button. The interesting thing with this van, none of the doors open. Instead, the roof comes off. And you can see inside the van, there's seating for the 4 18 members. There's a bit of room at the back. It's very, very difficult to get this van in good condition. Usually the rear spoiler has a crack in it somewhere, and often the spotlights at the top are broken off. I was very lucky to acquire this piece in good condition. I don't have the accessories that come with this van. The van came with a fire hydrant and a stop sign and another 3-piece like yellow detour sign as well. But I was just excited to get an unbroken example of the van. One day I will reacquire the accessories that came with it. Clay3613 says, I need this van in 7-inch scale. Well, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my 18 video, which, bear in mind, was a number of years ago. I think I made that video during the first year I was running the channel. But Galoob did have plans to make a larger size van for these action figures. There's an image of the prototype van with like gull wing doors, but it never made it into full production, which is weird because the A-Team van was pretty much another character in the A-Team TV series. You know, you had the 4 key characters, you had Amy Allen, and obviously the van. And that's the biggest thing that detracts from this particular scale, is that Galoob never offered us a van to fit them. So when you were a child, if you wanted the van as part of your play scenarios, you had to go with the 3 3/4 inch. But yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't have the large size Mr. T, but I had all of the 6-inch 18 characters. Hannibal looks like he's going to fall over there. That's better. I had all of the 6-inch characters. I had a lot of the 3 3/4 inch stuff. I wonder if I can get that roof back on the van there. And of course, in the 6-inch range, we have the world's ugliest action figure, Amy Allen. Poor Melinda Kalia. Look at that head sculpt. That is horrendous. What a horrible, horrible action figure. I'm missing the chat here. Apologies. I'm just going back to see if I've missed any super chats. Have a super chat here. Tom Velez. Apologies for if I'm mispronouncing that. Thank you very much for the super chat. He says, what do you think about the A-Team bad guy figures? Well, when I was a kid, Tom, I had the 4 3 3/4 inch bad guys. They came in a 4-pack, which I didn't realize till later on in life when I was making a video about this, that the names were pretty much a rip-off of G.I. Joe Cobra figures. I think the names were Python, Rattler, Cobra, and Viper, something like that. But where these guys were articulated similar to G.I. Joe figures, with knee joints, hip, waist joints, all that kind of thing, the bad guys were 5 points of articulation. Everything in the Galoob line is most of them, apart from maybe Mr. T and the 6-inch Hannibal, are very poorly sculpted, cheap quality plastics. They break very, very easily. And the bad guys were just generic fluff. What I never did have, though, was the larger A-Team bad guys. So once again, I've pre-prepared a picture for you here of the A-Team bad guys. These have very limited articulations. I'm glad I never got these as a kid, because if you look at them, they're just awful, awful action figures. That guy's second from the left. I don't know what his name was. I can't see it here. It's just generic bad guy. Look at the body shape on him. It's just, oh, it's awful. Absolutely awful. So if you're looking to collect A-Team toys, they're not super expensive unless you're trying to get stuff mint in the box. Personally, if you were trying to choose between the two scales, I would definitely go for the 3 3/4 inch scale because you can add the van. The van is hands down the best toy in the 18 toy line. The 6-inch figures, I can kind of take them or leave them. It's nice to have the core set of 4 figures. You don't really need any of the bad guys. You don't really need the vehicles because it's not related to anything in the TV show. Like that silly gyrocopter. Badre Bally says, Analog Toys. Mr. T was my hero as a kid. Even had an 18 poster which featured him in the centre, flexing on the top of my bed. I think a lot of us 80s kids might have had posters of Mr. T. My hero at that time in my life was always Rambo. Yes, my parents allowed me to watch First Blood when I was very young. And George Aitken says, plus you had the jet fighter tank and the sports car. Yeah, there was a few other toys in the line as well, George. So with the 3 3/4 inch scale, you could get the set of 4 18 figures on a card back. Unlike G.I. Joe and Star Wars, where you used to buy individual figures, these are available as a set of 4. You could also get the set of 4 action figures, and I believe this is how I acquired them when I was a child, in the Combat Headquarters set. This was a piece of cardboard that you just laid on the ground as kind of the basis, and then you had bunkers. There was a cardboard tent. Obviously, you can see the rubber dinghy there. There was a few like machine gun emplacements, a lot of accessories. So this is how I acquired my original set of 3 3/4 inch 18 figures. But then all of the vehicles also came with an action figure. And when I was a child, I had the tactical van and I had the A-Team attack tank that I'll show you in a moment. And both of those came with the Mr. T action figure. So I very quickly acquired 3 Mr. T action figures. It was the way the whole toy line was marketed. If you ended up getting the set of 18 figures and then got vehicles, you were going to end up with duplicate action figures. I believe there were some releases where you could get the figures maybe in a different color. I'm trying to remember now. I probably should have researched this yesterday, but I only just thought of it then. Yeah, so I had the Combat Headquarters as a child. I had the tactical van, and I had the attack tank that had a trailer. See, on this, maybe this is what I'm thinking of. In this photography here, it shows a Mr. T in a blue uniform or blue outfit, as opposed to the green one that's in the box. This is a really cool toy. It's quite fragile because everything Galoob made was cheap rubbish. But I remember being, when I was a kid, that this very quickly became a Cobra tank to go along with the Cobra Stinger vehicle. And I really did like that toy when I was a child. I loved that tank. I really want to get a loose one of those. I'm not going to take that one out of the box, but I'd love to get a loose one of those toys to show in a video one day. I've got very fond memories of that tank. In addition to that, I don't have photos of everything, but every 18 character was also available with a vehicle. And this is certainly one that I would like to, if I can get on the screen. There we go. This is one that I would really like to add to the collection, which is Faces Corvette. Very difficult to get today in good condition because the plastic yellows. I would really like to get that. Murdoch also came with a jet bomber, and I believe Hannibal came with some kind of a patrol boat of some kind. Let's catch up with the chat here. Chris Miwa says, I was still too young in '84 when the A-Team came to the Netherlands, but got to meet Dirk and Dwight later on a few times. They were both gents, and the stories they can share, I was on the jazz. I've heard a lot of people say that that they are very nice celebrities to meet. I don't remember exactly when the A-Team toy line was big in the UK, but I remember, one particular year when I was getting all 18 toys, and I would say it would be around 1985. I'm not exactly certain. I had a lot of 3-inch quarter-inch stuff. As I said, I had the larger figures. I had the tricycle, the trike, like the quad bike type trike that came with. I think it came with Murdoch, or maybe it didn't come with a figure, but it was always photographed with Murdoch. Jody, apologies. Did I miss the super chat there? Thank you, Jody. Apologies, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat. He said, with military toys being hot, why did we never get any MP vehicles or figures like Decker? That's a really good question, Jody. I don't know. I don't think that Galoob put too much thought and energy into the A-Team toy line. A lot of the stuff they made was quite generic, not too exciting. I would have loved. Do you remember from the opening of the TV show? There's a scene where a US Army, I think it must be an MP's Jeep, actually runs off the road and flips over upside down. I would have loved a US military Jeep for this line, and a couple of MP action figures to hunt the A-Team. Keith Knight. Does anyone know what crime they were supposed to have committed in Nam? Off the top of my head, I don't know. But obviously in the reimagining in the new TV series, it was a robbery. So Brian Dillingham, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, for the Black Series and Valaverse habits, it's very much a Valaverse habit now. I've pre-ordered the entire first wave of core figures from that line. I'm very excited to be seeing that soon. James Justice is, hey, big guy. Is that me? This is Sledgemaster. Lucky to catch a show. I have always loved the A-Team, and I've been collecting for 33 years. Antonio says, yeah, the military guys would have made great villains as they chased the team all the time. I think that's just a typo there. Yeah, because they chased the team all the time. I would have loved a Colonel Decker and a few generic MP figures, but you could always integrate certainly the 3 3/4 inch figures with your GI Joes and the A-Team van. I've already talked about the tank becoming a Cobra tank. The A-Team van was certainly used a lot by my Action Force International Heroes figures later on. Badre Billy, great question that I don't actually know the answer to. Says, why do the vehicles look better made than the actual figures? Well, quality-wise, the vehicles are also made from quite fragile, quite brittle plastic. Everything cracks fairly easily. But I think maybe Galoob was kind of putting most effort into the vehicles because that's probably where they made their money. So they were happy to kind of make fairly generic act. Even the A-Team are generic. When you look at, apart from B.A. Baracus, all the bodies are the same. They're just molded in different colors. Copying originally Migos O-ring style, then became G.I. Joe style. Cheap plastics. The thumbs break very easily. Even I don't even have an unbroken. Actually, you can't see that behind the comment there. You'll see Face has got his thumb broken off. I need to get a complete Face that's unbroken. But yeah, I think maybe Galoob probably made them their biggest profit in this line off of the vehicles, so they put the extra effort into them and probably cut more than a few corners when producing the 3 3/4 inch stuff. Daniel Dorian says, mint 18 villains in the box aren't hard to come by. I came across the small 4 for about £60 or £80. That's for the set of 4 villains. Even I think that's a bit pricey for what it is. There is still a lot of them around. It's very easy to acquire the set of 4 18 figures still in the original package. So easy to acquire a lot of this stuff still in the original package. They did become, although the toy line, in my memory anyway, was relatively popular back in the 80s, they did become peg warmers as well. I think Galoob produced so much product that after a year or two, when the fad of the 18 kind of wore off, there was still tons of this stuff available in toy shops. Chris Meaver says, Analog Toys, just thinking, you can swap the 18 figure parts. Can you swap the 18 figure parts with G.I. Joe action figures just to create a different outfit? Yes, you can. Well, I believe so anyway. I actually took Murdoch apart the other day because I had to replace his O-ring, which I did ready for this live stream. But the neck post, it's not on the kind of ball joint type design that came later in the G.I. Joe line. So you would have to use G.I. Joes from the first couple of years that just had a neck that turned left and right and could not be like lifted up and down, if that makes sense. Can you guys hear that ticking? Tick, 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 tick. That's this Lazy Susan here that just turned up in the post the other day because I wanted to be able to use it in live. So I had a Lazy Susan already, but it runs off battery power, and I wanted one that I could plug in on a USB cable. But then I got really annoyed when I discovered that it ticks. So I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but Clay3613 says, same with Star Trek. Galoob jumped on the Next Generation hard, and comic shops around here are stuffed with carded figures. Yeah, there is a lot of Galoob product that is still quite easy to get in good condition. King at the greatest of all. I thought it was a ticking clock. If it is, it's ticking pretty fast. Yeah, I think you can only hear it maybe if I go silent. It's bugging me now. Now that I've mentioned it. There we go. Brian Dillingham, thank you very much for the super chat. On TV, the team robbed the Bank of Hanoi on orders, but the CEO was killed and no copies of orders were found. Later revealed it was a setup to frame them. There you go. So I love in this community how when I don't know the answer to something, someone in the chat does. So you can answer Keith Knight's question. There you go, Keith. That is the crime that they did not commit. That's mentioned in the intro to the TV show. I was pretty certain it was a bank robbery of some kind. Jody says, I don't hear the ticking, so sorry, Tony, we can't share your pain of that annoying ticking. Yeah, it is annoying me. So I've now taken it down off the table. It's still going to be useful for produced videos, but as I said, I already had a battery-operated Lazy Susan. This one runs off a USB cable. And the good thing with this, it's got let me start again. The kind of battery-operated Lazy Susan that I already have, it's got 2 different speeds, but it only rotates in one direction. Well, this one I've got here rotates in both directions, and then there's also a setting where you can get it where it just does like a quarter turn, and it keeps turning like this. I think it's going to be quite useful for some future produced videos. Honda Medic Garage says, how did Galoob get the A-Team license? Hasbro or Kenner would have done a better job. Again, a question I don't know the answer to, but most likely. Here is my best guess anyway. The reason why Hasbro would not have even wanted the A-Team license is because military-style action figures, they already had the market share with G.I. Joe, and they would probably not want to purchase a license for another property that was potentially going to compete with G.I. Joe. So that is why I would say Hasbro would not have been interested in A-Team. Kenner, I'm not sure. Maybe at the time they were getting ready to do superpowers or something like that. Actually, I think at the time the A-Team came out, Star Wars was still popular. So they were kind of investing all their money into that. Sorry, wrong one. Gojatron, Tony, did you enjoy the film version with Liam Neeson? Not particularly. There were a few bits in it that I thought were okay, but that was it. Daniel Dorian says Hasbro probably would have made them in a way you could transform them from 6-inch to 3-inch. Anyone get the joke? Jody says, correct me if I'm wrong. We have a jet toy, but I can't recall Murdoch flying a jet. Choppers enough as well as DC-3s, but no jet. Yeah, I don't think he ever flew a fighter jet in the TV show, but I don't think the designers at Galoob were too concerned about that. I think perhaps a fighter jet in this toy line was, they were trying to compete with G.I. Joe, obviously. So a fighter jet was probably more exciting than a DC-3 for a child who was collecting this particular line. So still speaking about the movie reboot of the A-Team, Sharlto Copley, I hope I pronounced that name, was good as Murdoch. Yes, he was good as Murdoch. I particularly like that actor as well. Is it District 9? I think is a fantastic film. Boba Hicks, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, this is actually a repro super chat. Looks almost identical. And there's nothing wrong with that on this channel. We have all the repro super chat you like. Captain Beefcake says, the jet bomber was an awesome toy. Yeah, I never had that toy when I was a kid. As I said, I had the van, I had the tank. I always wanted the Corvette. I don't know if I was even aware of the jet when I was a child. I definitely was not aware of Hannibal's patrol boat. Oh, interesting. Mark Telfer says, and hi, Mark Telfer, good to see you here. He says, District 10 is on the way finally. They're making a sequel to District 9. That movie needed a sequel. That was, what was the director's name? Neil Blomkamp. I really enjoyed that film. I like him as a director. Did he also make Elysium with Matt Damon and Sharlto Copley? Was that the same director? That movie had some issues, but I did still like it. Stephen S says, what's easier to find, the A-Team or Rambo 80s figures and vehicles, and are the prices close? I think they're both relatively easy to find. I mean, with Rambo, anything from the second wave is much, much harder to get and much pricier. But the first wave stuff isn't too bad. But in terms of quality, Coleco's Rambo line is far, far superior to Galoob's A-Team line. Brian Dillingham says, I remember a version of the van and the Corvette that you could push the button, had all these weapons come out. I don't remember that. Anyone else remember that? So I was also looking around the other day for some old TV commercials for the A-Team. I used one commercial in my toy histories where I covered the A-Team toy line. And it's not to say that they didn't produce this back in the day, but I can't find any commercials online for the 3 3/4 range, which I'm surprised Galoob didn't advertise more because of the vehicles and stuff like that. But they did do a couple of commercials for the 6 range.
They're the A-Team.
You know they're soldiers of fortune.
They're the A-Team.
Helping people in need. You can pretend that you're Hannibal, Murdoch, or Face, or maybe B.A. Baracus. You know each one is an ace. Each is sold separately with rifle and gear. If there's trouble to face, you know the A-Team's here.
They're the A-Team.
The A-Team, Murdoch, Hannibal, Face, and B.A. Baracus. Each is sold separately by Galoob.
Not a bad toy commercial, is it? Wow. Sal, thank you very much for the very kind super chat. Just saying I'm here and have another Valaverse figure or two on me. Swarm maybe. I'm saying for me to have another Valaverse figure or two on him. Swarm maybe, or a figure with all those weapons packed. Thank you very much, Sal. I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate you kind of plugging the Valaverse line on social media. Marvel Comics published an A-Team comic book miniseries back in the day. Did they really? I was not aware of that. Obviously, in the UK, it was all about the annuals, and I've got the A-Team annual here from 1986. This is not the same one I had as a child, but I did have this particular annual when I was a kid. Left Coast Graphics says, we need a Valaverse A-Team figures in 6-inch scale, just saying. I just need Valaverse Action Force. I don't need them doing other properties. I like the fact that it's Action Force, but it is an entire reimagining. It's not a reboot. It's a brand new story, brand new characters. I like that about the line. Good point, Keith Holmesley. I can't remember who it was who said before about the Corvette with the pop-out weapons. He's Keith saying the Chuck Norris Karate Commando's red Corvette had weapons and blades that swing out. That's right. Tom, thank you again for another super chat. He said, did Galoob use the same molds of General Patch for the A-Team figures? I don't know who that is. Is that General Patch? I've got a vague recollection of that being a generic action figure toy line maybe that Galoob had done. Someone jogged my memory. If it was Galoob, it would not surprise me if they used the same parts. If it's the figure I'm thinking of, it would not surprise me if Galoob actually used the same parts. Daniel Dorian says sticker albums were big in the 80s. I'm pretty sure there was an A-Team sticker album. Yeah, certainly in the UK there was a company called Panini that did all of the sticker albums. I know certainly when I was growing up, I remember having the Action Man one, which I still have today. And I have a whole stack of unopened Panini stickers to go with the Action Man sticker book. But when I was a child, the sticker books that I used to really collect, like all my other friends at school, were football. The football sticker books. I always remember, and I could, for 2 years in a row, Ian Rush being the hardest sticker you could get. I think I saw Dean. Yeah, here we go. Here's Dean from all. Sorry, wrong one. Dean from All Things 80s. He said, just dug out my old A-Team annuals. First is from 1984, and the second is actually British Home Store's storybook. Oh, very cool. I think I had all of them, Dean. I'm pretty sure I had the 84 one as well as this 86 one. I did have a lot of A-Team stuff back in the 80s. DJ Ninja said, did Kenner do the A-Team toy line? No. If Kenner had done this toy line, it would have been a much, much better toy line than what it actually is. This was made by Galoob. James Justice, thank you very much. He says, you do a fantastic show. We're at home, like and watching it. Thank you very much. And we got Wesley Hendricks in the chat. Sorry if I haven't said hello to you previously, Wesley. It says, hey, Tony, I had Face, but as a kid, I didn't know about A-Team. I thought he was the bad guy from MacGyver. I called him Marduk. Well, no one can really blame you for that, Wesley, because the face sculpts are absolutely terrible on these guys. Let me see if I can show you. You can't see it very well on that camera, can you? Let me try it there. No, the light's too bright. The face sculpts on these figures are absolutely terrible. As I said, BA isn't too bad in this scale. The rest of them are awful. And in this scale, BA, Hannibal isn't too bad, but the rest of the face sculpts are just awful, awful face sculpts. Daniel Dorian, Galoob, just like a lot of great toy companies, shut down in the 90s. Yeah, there aren't many toy companies from the 80s that are still around. Mattel and Hasbro, that's your lot. Palitoy's gone, Galoob's gone, Kenner's gone. Salvador says, a close friend of mine is friends with Mr. T. He knows him from his bouncer days in Las Vegas. Very cool. That's quite the claim to fame there, particularly if they ever worked on the door together. That'll be interesting. George Aitken says, I sent you some pictures of those 18 van accessories. Oh, thank you, George. I'm assuming via Facebook. I can't access that right now because my phone is using what I'm using for the close-up camera over there. So Imperial Holocron says, Hasbro bought Galoob in 1998. Yeah, I didn't know when, but it doesn't surprise me. Hasbro has gobbled up every toy company over the last 40 years, apart from Mattel, pretty much. Keys Nye, anyone remember the episode where at a costume event and someone dressed as a Cylon walks past Face and he does a double take? Nice touch, I thought. Yeah, I remember that, but I remember that more from the intro. I believe that clip was used, not in the original intro. You know, they obviously updated it for each series. I remember that shot from the intro as more than I remember the actual episode itself. Salvador says that his friend is on first name basis with Mr. T. By first name, does he just call him Mr. then? Used to bounce in a couple of clubs that my friend worked in. Very cool. Very cool. Beta Ray Bob, could it be that Dirk Benedict did not allow his likeness to be used on the figures? Even his Battlestar Galactica figure doesn't look like him. I don't think so, Beta Ray Bob, because I don't know how it actually worked back in the 80s. I don't think Dirk Benedict would have had a say. Like, once he agreed to appear in the A-Team TV show, and then was it a Stephen J. Cannell production? You know, if they're going to sell the rights, I don't think they need to get the. I don't know, but I think the reason it doesn't look like the actor is because Galoob was lazy at making toys. Ian Bauscher, sorry if I mispronounced that. Hey, Tony, why are some of the A-Team vans black and grey? I believe in the TV show they were all black and grey, weren't they? A common misconception that it's an all-black van with a red stripe. It's actually black on the top, the red stripe, and dark kind of gunmetal grey. But probably on a... Yes. Yeah, Left Coast Graphics says the van is black and grey. Yes, and I believe it's always been in the TV show. It was always black and grey. Probably just the quality of our TV sets back in the 80s. You didn't pick up on it quite as much. Brian Dillingham says, Tony, I found a pic of the transforming Faceman Corvette. Sent you a link on Patreon. Interesting. I'm actually going to look that up because I want to see what he's talking about. Bear with me just a moment. And Keith Knight here is also saying, yes, they were all black and grey, but the way the light hit it, it was hard to see. Exactly. All right. Let's put up Brian's Patreon message here. While we're speaking of Patreon, guys, we're going to do a bit of a Patreon-only hangout after this. So if you want to join us, go over to the Analog Choice Patreon page, sign up there. I'll take a bit of a break after the live stream, 15, 20 minutes, make another cup of tea, maybe have a toilet break, and then we're just going to have a Patreon-only kind of hangout afterwards. Just waiting for this picture to load. Oh wow, this is very cool. I need to share screen here. All right, can you all see that? Look at this. I've never seen this before. Interesting. An 18 Corvette with pop-out weapons. Very interesting. World Made of Cardboard. Thank you very much for the kind super chat. It says, I used to A-team my G.I. Joe vehicles. They always had to turn the vamp into an armored carrier. I taped on cardboard manhole covers, weapons and stuff. I think a lot of us kids did that. And Ed's Retro Geek Out says, reminds me of Mask with all those weapons popping out of the Corvette. Yeah, it is very kind of Mask inspired. I almost thought it looked somewhat like a Transformer as well. Imperial Holocron says, my opinion, Hasbro is probably the best of the 4-inch scale for mass-produced face sculpts. Seems even Mattel misses most of the time at that scale. Are you talking modern day? Modern day, I think everyone's. Actually, no, I was about to say something. I don't actually agree. We're going to say modern day. Most companies are getting face sculpts pretty good, but then if you follow Michael French on social media and you see Hoth Luke Skywalker, not quite the case. They don't always get it right, but they can never get Mark Hamill's face right. So. Yeah, and Retro Blasted says, yeah, Mattel never has really captured Skeletor's true likeness. Yeah, that never have. And that's one I've got Man at Arms here in his he's in his karaoke Burt Reynolds singing pose there. I really like this toy line. It's one of the modern toy lines that I do really like, but I just don't understand why Mattel have opted to give He-Man and Skeletor these bizarre face sculpts. It just doesn't make sense. I wish I bought another drink in here with me, a bottle of water or something. I might even go and treat myself to a can of Coke for the Patreon after show. But we've got a lot of mail to open before we before we get to the Patreon only hangout, I'll call it, for want of a. I haven't come up with a better name yet. World Made of Cardboard. Thank you for the super chat. What if they made vehicles with snap-on parts to make them weaponized? New wheels, manhole covers, guns, etc. That would be a pretty cool concept for an A-Team toy. And you could utilize magnets where maybe you've had like the die-cast shell of a vehicle, and then you could have plastic accessories and small magnets, and you could clip them on everywhere. Retro Blasting. I think he's talking about the Motu Origins line here. He says it. Yep, that's the only reason to buy the Battle Armor Origins is for the spare heads for the OG Origins figures. Good to know. Yeah, those Battle Armor figures didn't look as good as the first wave of figures. Keys Knight. The 2020 action figure face sculpts will be fine, though. Everyone wearing COVID masks. Funny you should say that. When I was having this crazy idea yesterday about Man-at-Arms, I was going to make some sort of karaoke video with him singing Frank Sinatra's My Way or something. But when he's done singing Man-at-Arms, he's all ready for COVID. Look. Oops. Now he's got his COVID mask on. I don't know where my brain was at yesterday. I was coming up with some weird stuff in my head. We're getting close to the hour. I do have a lot of mail to open today, so I think we're just gonna get on with it because I've kind of talked about all the toys on the table. By all means, keep the A-Team theme going in the chat. Ask me some questions if you like. Just going to bring this up here. Gary George Lewin. The 1980s was fantastic. I was riding my Lambretta all over England and loved it. And the reason I brought that up is because I'm quite a fan of Lambrettas. I'm not a proper enthusiast. I don't own a Lambretta. I probably never will. But it's yeah, you piqued my interest just when I saw that word Lambretta. Oh, Chris, don't do this to me again. So Chris Mewa was the brains behind the idea to get Evel Knievel to jump Snake Mountain. And now he's saying, "Oh, that would be fun to do that karaoke video." Yeah, I don't quite know how I'm going to do it yet. Would probably have to be a stop motion kind of video, and I really don't have the patience to do a lot of stop motion. I did a little bit of lazy stop motion in that Evel Knievel video with the crowd, but that was very lazy. I only filmed about 4 shots and then just keep repeating them to get the crowd to look like they were moving around. Scuba Pete says, Retro Blasting, I feel like you're the new plastic surgeon that all the guys go to change their faces when they're in a bind. Yes, great job. And I was happy with the original head swap, Michael, and it's something I'm going to do with my Hoth Luke is put the Hoth Rebel Trooper. The reason I'm not going to go as far as you did and actually cut the face off a Snowspeeder Luke is because I don't have a spare Snowspeeder Luke. All right, let's start getting these figures out of the way so we can open up some mystery boxes. We'll get all the different scales to crowd in together here. Excuse me. And the first mystery, well, I say mystery box, kind of know somewhat of what's in here, but this is from my dear friend Michael French at Retro Blasting. If you don't know the Retro Blasting YouTube channel, I don't know why you're watching my channel. Retro Blasting inspired me to create analog toys. It's a fantastic channel, one of the very few channels I watch on YouTube, and I watch everything Retro Blasting. So Michael has sent me a mystery box before. The last one I think he kind of posted right as COVID was starting, and it ended up taking months and months and months to arrive. This one arrived faster than a comic that I purchased from the east coast of Australia. This came from America to all the way to Port Hedland, from Atlanta, Georgia to Port Hedland, faster than a comic did come from Melbourne to Port Hedland. So maybe the postal service is trying to make up for last time, Michael. And we have a letter. Dear Tony, enclosed, please find some figures for your continued quest to complete your vintage Star Wars Kenner run. Please note the blaster with Bespin layer is authentic and has been and has been with the figure since the 1990s. I'm gonna read the rest of that later because it's going to spoil the surprise of what's in here. So, first of all, we have the accessories for a Rancor Keeper. Michael knows the Rancor Keeper is... I have a loose figure with no accessories, and I need to complete my collection. So thank you very much for that, Michael. We have here... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wow. We have a Bespin layer. Loose, very nice condition. And, oh, this is unreal. A complete Bespin layer with an original vintage layer blaster. Man, Michael, I would have happily put a repro on this, and you could have kept the original, because these layer blasters are not cheap. Thank you, man. I'm getting very close to completing. I'm really looking to complete the run of the first 79 figures. I'm not too worried about the last 17 because I never had them as a kid. I wasn't aware of them. I think the only one I was aware of was Luke in Stormtrooper Disguise. Was about a kid down the street had it. Retro Blasting in the chat saying I couldn't separate that from her. It's hers from when I bought her. Yeah, so Michael told me a story that he picked this up in the 90s when he was collecting Star Wars in the 90s, and man, that's very, very generous of you to send me that. And we have wow, that's beautiful. We have a beautiful Hoth layer there. Michael noticed in one of my videos, I mentioned that I didn't have a Hoth layer. So that's where this whole journey first began. He sent me two. I have options. Sent me two Hoth layers. These are both in really nice condition. It's a package full of Princess layers. Michael said, that's why I sent you two Bespin layers so you could pick which one you liked the condition of better and swap the accessories out. I could, Michael, but much like you wanting to send me the blaster because you didn't want to separate it from that figure, I don't want to separate the accessories from that figure. I'm going to keep that the way it is. And maybe this Bespin layer can become a pilot for a cloud car if I eventually pick one up or something like that. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Michael really is helping me complete my collection here. We have Wicket. The only Ewok of the original 79 figures. That is the only Ewok that I don't have, but the one that I've wanted the most because he's obviously the main character. There we have Wicket. And another short figure to go along with it. The Ugnaught. Very, very nice. Ugnaught from Bespin Cloud City. With this really kind donation from Retro Blasting, I'm very close now to completing that original run of 79 Star Wars action figures. I think there's only 2 or 3 left, and I'm literally going to jump on eBay later today and complete it. And General Maydean and his PowerPoint pointer. God knows why I don't already have General Maydean. He's not a hard figure to get, but I'm very appreciative of this, Michael. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more characters. I think there's only 3 figures left, and I'm just going to go on eBay after this and purchase them. Thank you very, very much, Michael, my dear friend. I would like to read the rest of your letter now. It says, Dear Tony, enclosed, please find some figures for your continued quest to complete your vintage Star Wars Kenner run. Please note the blaster with Bespin Leia is authentic and has been with the figure since the 1990s, which is why the cape and the blaster is going to stay with that figure. With the exception of Wicket Spear, which was a weird, obvious repro, I received it in an auction years ago. All of the accessories are legit. Okay. Wow. What do I have to do to get the message? What do I have to do to get the message through? How can I prove these parts are really Kenner? Lovely, Kylie Minogue. I get that. Well, it's like an autograph you didn't get yourself. You take it on faith and trust the sender, or you spend your life in fear, sitting on your fingers and enjoying nothing. Enjoy this lot, mate, with Retro Blasting's compliments. That guy who apparently hates everything, Michael French. You don't hate everything, you just hate a lot of things. It's very early in the morning, Michael. I know I got the first Kylie reference. I'm sure there was a few more in there. Very, very kind of you. I feel like I've missed a lot of chats here. Chris Mewa says, Retro Blasting, great gift box, and it looks so well orderly. I hope that's a correct word. Well, Pat, yes, it was actually very nicely packed, very well organized. All the figures came in little blister bubbles. Man, this is an awesome injection of vintage Star Wars into the, and it probably got me inspired to certainly complete the collection, but possibly even pick up a few more vehicles that I'm looking for. And Keith Knight says very simply, and I totally agree, Michael, you're a legend. Okay, this next mystery box it's come from eBay, but I believe this is from well, this has come from Nangara, which is a suburb down in Perth, not far from where my mum lives. But I believe this is something that Wesley Hendricks has ordered for me. So let's have a look at this. Oh, wow. I don't know where you live, Wesley, but I've got to get this out. the fact that this came from Nangara, which is, as I said, not far from where my mum lives, there is a possibility. Can you see, guys? It's Hero Quest. My God. I've talked before about wanting the Hero Quest board game. And Wesley sent it to me. And there is a possibility, because of where this came from in Nangara. Like, I think I sold mine in my teenage years. And I lived so close to Nangara that there's a possibility that this could be my original one. And we've got a thank you for supporting my eBay business card there with no notes. Holy crap. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat saying that they love Hero Quest board game. Oh man, this is bigger than I remember. Whoa. Look at the artwork on that box. This looks to be complete. I'm going to have to go through it and see if there's anything missing, but we have all the furniture pieces here. I wonder if there's a way we can play virtual Hero Quest in the Patreon hangout after the live stream. I don't know. So this is definitely not the one that I had when I was a kid, because I think I painted all of the figures. This one here's got a couple of painted figures. Oh, Wesley, thank you so much, man. I have wanted to reacquire this board game for such a long time. I would love to make a video about Hero Quest one day. I'm going to have to track down the... there was at least 2 add-on packs that I had when I was a kid. I don't know how many they made for Hero Quest. But that's just awesome, man. That is awesome. I got this for Christmas in, I want to say, 1992, something like that. When did this game come? Oh, this game came out in 89. Wow. Milton Bradley, 1989, components from more than one country. Dude, this is awesome. I've always wanted to I'm repeating myself, I know. I've always wanted to reacquire Hero Quest. Wesley, I saw you in the chat earlier. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'll be sending the patrons a link after this. We'll have a Patreon only kind of live stream afterwards, not monetized. And I reckon we'll sit here and we'll try and go through the Hero Quest board game and see if it's all complete. Oh, running out of room here. Okay, this last box here is from Keith Knight, and it's damn heavy. I'm scared I'm going to knock over the layers here. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? So, Keith Knight has wrapped this box up with superhero wrapping paper turned inside out, which, as you can see, Keith, the cats have had a good go at this already. All right, first of all, I need to figure out how this box opens. Bear with me, everyone. Retro blasting, good call. Move the layers in front of the 18 book. I can do this. I feel like I'm playing Operation, remember? And Keith Knight says, yeah, cat snow, mate, cat snow. I'm going to put those Rancor Keeper accessories down there. All right. This box is heavy. Oops, the chat jumped. Retro Blaster said it's like watching Bond try and disarm a nuclear warhead. It felt that important. Okay. I'm getting a workout this morning. This is a heavy box, difficult to manhandle. No, I'm not using any correct manual handling techniques here. I'm not bending at the knees or straight back because I'm sitting down. I'm also worried I'm going to slice my leg open here. Oh, what the hell? The struggle is real. Okay, we finally have some movement here. Oops. Let me fill out the front there. Oh my God. Penguins. For anyone who don't know what penguins are, these are the English version of Tim Tams. And as much as I like Tim Tams, and I know Retro Blasting likes Tim Tams, penguins are just slightly better. We've got 221 packs. That's a lot of penguins. I'm gonna have to sit this box down here. Oh damn. Okay, what do we have here? Now Retro Blasting wants penguins. Those are what you can call iconic British biscuits. Absolutely, you can. Pick up a penguin. Oh, very, very cool. So Keith has sent me the new Scotland Yard Metropolitan Police fabric badge. It's very nice. I've actually got a bit of a collection of fabric badges. Keith, I started collecting them when I was doing private security work in the Middle East, so that's going to go with my collection. And we've got some awesome Black Series accessories here for Stormtroopers, and you can never go past some additional accessories for your Black Series. So I've got some large blaster rifles, the Stormtrooper blaster there. From Keith Knight, wet, cold, and very, very miserable UK. This is a beautiful letter, man. It's like, I don't know how well you can see. Watermark with a cat on the back. Hi, Tony. I trust this box finds you safe and well, my friend. I hope that the chocolate hasn't melted in your heat over there. Your complaints about how hot it is in Australia at the moment really almost breaks my heart. Seeped in sarcasm. No chance of anything melting here, not even the bloody snow. I had to strap tennis rackets to my feet to take this up to the post office, trudging through 16 feet of snow and crippling polar bear infested blizzards. At one point, I was chased by a very hungry Arctic wolf, but I managed to give him the slip. It's not easy running for your life in makeshift tennis racket snowshoes, I can tell you. I find running difficult at this stage of life anyway, Keith, never mind with tennis racket shoes. When I got home, I reeled in horrors. I thought we'd been burgled by a hideous grumpy Yeti, but much to my relief, it just turned out to be my teenage daughter in a white bathrobe. I have enclosed some snacks and goodies and a little something for your long-suffering cats. Oh, thank you very much. I'm not going to read the next bit because it's going to support what's in the box. Take care, dude. Love to you all. Speak soon. Big hugs from that dodgy Cockney bloke. Thank you very much, Keith. Much, much appreciated. It's a very beautiful letter and funny too. We have, oh wow. I don't know if you were in cahoots with Wesley Hendricks, but this seems to be something of a board game day. We've got Hero Quest first, and a Thunderbirds board game. This is from the International Rescue Game. When was this made? 1992. This is when Thunderbirds were having something of a resurgence. Yeah, so we've got Hero Quest board game, we've got Thunderbirds board game, and this here is going to constitute another video. I'm certain of it. Oh my good Lord. There's a lot of stuff in this box. We have here so in one single live stream, I have now acquired probably the only two board games that I've ever wanted to own. Hero Quest and Escape from Colditz. I've always wanted to make a video about this board game. Apologies to anyone who's offended by this symbol up here. But this, this is how this toy was sold back in the day. It's got that smell, that old cardboard smell. Scuba Pete saying the box art is gorgeous. Yes, it is. It really is gorgeous. And I've got some very nice kind of behind the scenes photos of Major Reed, who wrote the book Escape from Colditz, actually promoting this board game at Toy Fair. It's got that smell, man. It's got that smell. Oh, but it just smells of the 1970s. Oh, dude, this looks like it's unplayed with. So the board for the board game actually looks like a large book. And then you open it up. Oh man, I don't have enough room here. Look at this. This is unplayed with. Wow, this is absolutely immaculate. Keith, I don't know when. I've got a busy schedule, but I'm making a video about this board game. This is amazing. I don't know if you opened this up, Keith, before you sent it to me, but honestly, all I can smell is the 1970s. Or is it just dust? And I think that smells what the 1970s smelled like. Wow. Wow. James Justice says, we all should not be offended. It's just part of history. We're supposed to be grown-up people, not little wimps. History is history, and we're supposed to learn from it. And I completely agree with you. Just by having an item like this in my collection does not make me any kind of questionable person, let's say. I'm interested in this because of the history of the we're going to say toy then, the history of the game, but this is amazing. Thank you very much, Keith. And we have in here for the cats, cat treats. Thank you very much, Keith. More cat treats with delicious so cheesy treats, tasty chicken treats, tuna flavored treats. Wow. Frazzles. George sent me some of these. Retroblasting. As a Gulag commanding officer, I'm offended. Yes, I got that joke. My God. Oh dear. George Aitken. You could open a separate channel called Retro Cats. Maybe Gracie could host that show. But yeah, we got Frazzles. Blimey, how many skips did you send me? One, two, and 3 family packets of skips. Oh my good Lord. That. I don't even know how I'm going to get out of here, guys. George Aitken sent me Frazzles and Skips last time, Keith, and I must be honest, I think they lasted all of about a day and a half. You've sent a little bit more, but I still reckon that these are only going to last 2 to 3 days. Although I've got 41 chocolate penguins to eat. Although I reckon my son might have a few of those. Keith, this is awesome. Like penguins are one of my favourite UK chocolates. These are my favourite crisps. So crispy bacon frazzles and prawn cocktail flavoured skips. Oh, here we go. World made of cardboard. Thank you for the super chat. He says, what are skips? Skips. I'm going to show you them right here. Skips are prawn cocktail flavoured, light and melty crisps. They're kind of not even crisp because they're not crunchy. They're very light and melty. Oh, you can smell the prawn cocktail flavour. And this is what they look like. I love skips. Yes, Mark, a bit like chips. Scuba Pete says, shrimp snacks, I'm in. No, well, pop over, Pete. Pop over. Join me for the Patreon hangout afterwards, and you can have a few packs, mate. I'll even drink bourbon at 5 o'clock in the morning if you come round. Daniel Dorian says, you would love them, Scuba. Easy Tiger says, who doesn't love skips? Everyone loves skips. I'll be honest. I'm not much of a seafood eater. And even though this prawn cocktail flavour, I've always loved them. Keith Knight says, I'll send you some more for the after show. There's plenty here, Keith. There's plenty here. Mike T says, show us the penguins. Oh, show us the penguins. Oh. Left Coast Graphics. Are you a vintage toy expert? I would never call myself an expert. Like I'm a passionate toy collector. I'm interested in the history of toys, so I research a lot. I'm not as I'm not pretentious enough to call myself an expert. But anyway, I have a Mr. T 6-inch action figure in yellow that nobody seems to know anything about. Any help would be appreciated. Well, Left Coast Graphics, if you can send me a photograph to torturedgeniusfilms@gmail.com or on the Facebook page, whatever you want to do, I will try and help you out. But without seeing a picture, it's hard for me to tell just from you saying that Mr. T in yellow. It could be a Clubber Lang figure. I don't know. It could be from the Rocky line, something like that. Retro blasting. I'm an expert at commanding gulags. Yeah, well, I'm not pretentious enough to call myself like a toy guru or something like that. Wonder who got that joke. All right, someone wanted to see the penguin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat a penguin right now. The reason being, I don't think that this beautiful British chocolate goes well with the aftertaste of prawn cocktail skips in your mouth. But basically, where Tim Tams come in a large packet and like a plastic tray, and you open them out and they're all sitting there individually. Penguins actually come in individual wrappers, like so. All right. I'm going to have to take a bite of one. And no, Keith, they're not melted at all. No. Oh. That beautiful British chocolate. Now, chocolate in Australia just doesn't taste the same. And when I came to... What on earth? Retro blasting. I was watering new sod patches. That's random. Oh, no. You mentioned something. I saw you on Facebook earlier. You mentioned something about gardening. Salvador says, fun fact, I didn't know the word gulag as a kid, only the word goulash. And so when we first started learning about all that in school, I was very confused how they put people in goulash. Yeah, when I first came to Australia in 1988, I was 11 years old. My sister would have been 9. We were constantly complaining that the chocolate did not taste the same here in Australia. And we then found out, this is bloody nice. We then found out that due to the hot temperatures here, chocolate making factories or companies in Australia had a different kind of recipe for making chocolate to stop it from melting quite so easily in the hot temperatures. So, oh my God, that's good. Hasbro keeps shelling, YouTubers keep shilling, and I keep fighting on the beaches with liquid courage. And I'm in the trench with you, man. I'm in the trench with you. Chris H, yes, club biscuits were also yum. Tim Hayes, how are you doing, Tim? Analog Toys, I think your taste buds change over time as well, so that will affect your sense of taste. Yeah, they certainly do. I probably have ruined my taste buds by being a long-time smoker as well, which I don't recommend. Yeah, Daniel. Tony probably feels like he's back in the UK coming home from his local spa. I do. Walking home from Spa with some penguins, some skips, some frazzles. What an awesome day. All right. Kieran Ball says, dunk the penguin in the cup of tea. What you're supposed to do is bite off both ends, then stick it in the cup of tea and use it like a chocolate straw and suck the tea through it. You can do that with Tim Tams as well if you haven't tried that, Michael. Keith, nice. Was that Keith? Tony, try some of those dreamies. No, I'm not eating cat treats on the live stream. Sorry, Keith. Right. I need to figure out how I'm going to get out of here and make a cup of tea. Wow, there's a lot to pack up around here. So, yeah, for anyone who would like to join me for a Patreon only hangout afterwards, if you're on Patreon already, I'll send you the link very soon on Patreon. If you're not, the link is scrolling across the screen at the bottom there. Yeah, give me about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. I'm going to make a cup of tea. I was hoping it was going to be 15 minutes, but I'm going to have to pack a few of these things up. And we'll hang out for a bit and we'll go through that HeroQuest board game, all right? Sound like a plan? I hope everyone's having a fantastic Sunday. It's Monday morning for me. I've just heard Grace leave for work. It's a weird combination, corn cocktail flavour, skips and chocolate. But I love it anyway. Cool. Oh, awesome. Wesley, you're in the chat. Thank you, man. Says, I'll meet you over there, mate. Need to talk about the game. Perfect. We'll see you on the Patreon only hangout in about 20, 25 minutes. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. This has been a fun stream. Thanks to everyone who sent me donations. Thank you very much, Michael, my dear friend. Very, very kind of you. Keith, Wesley. I'm swimming in stuff here. This is awesome. Yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see some of you on the Patreon hangout afterwards. All right, guys. Take care for now, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.